Welcome to CES. It is always exciting to kick off the new year, just wondering what we're going to see at CES. We applied all of our know-how and all of our expertise to take this incredibly powerful processor and putting it into a super energy efficient form factor. And the result is called MaxQ. This is what a high-end NVIDIA gaming notebook looks like last year. Before, after. This is what a latest generation gaming notebook looks like. 4 times the performance of a MacBook Pro. MaxQ technology. New architecture design, process engineering, design engineering, system software, thermal management, power supply design. We tuned and tweaked and optimized every little drop of power out of this thing. The second growth driver for us is AI. This last year we announced the single most complex processor the world has ever made. This is called the NVIDIA Tesla V100 Volta. 21 billion transistors. It's the largest chip the world has ever made. 12 nanometer FinFET. Every single cloud service provider in the world has adopted this processor. The very first time in history, one single architecture has been adopted everywhere. We also containerized the entire supercomputer into one server. We call it the DGX. This is the DGX supercomputer. 8 processors, 1 petaflops, connected with NVLink in a 3U server. If you would like to do deep learning on your own PC, we have a brand new computer, brand new processor called the Titan V, $3,000, the most powerful GPU for your PC ever made, and it replaces basically supercomputers. Well, the reason why we're growing so fast is because the value proposition is absolutely incredible. 1/6 the cost, 1/20th the power, 4 racks reduced into 1 box. That's the reason why people are jumping on the NVIDIA GPU for deep learning. Before, after. And just go back and tell everybody, the more you buy from Jensen, the more money you save. That entire stage would be filled with computers, and it could be replaced with this. That is the power of GPU for deep learning. The more you buy, the more you save. We can even write music. We decided to teach a neural network how to compose music like John Williams. We're now able to use software to write software by itself. AV, autonomous vehicles, powered by deep learning and AI, is going to revolutionize driving, no doubt. AV can save millions of lives and, frankly, trillions of dollars. And so today we're announcing that the world's first autonomous machine processor, we call the DriveXavier, and the largest chip the world has ever made, called Volta. 512 of those processors fit into another monster chip in my other pocket. I am carrying in my back pockets, ladies and gentlemen, several $billion of R&D investment. Look at this chip. Look how big it is. This is the largest SoC the world has ever made. The most complex SoC ever made. 9 billion transistors, 350 millimeters squared, made from 12 nanometer FinFET, 8,000 engineering years, as I've mentioned. Now, inside this chip, let me just very quickly mention it. There are 8 CPU cores based on 64-bit ARM, completely custom, 10 wide superscalar, 2700 spec int, basically approximately a server on a chip. It also has this mode called dual execution. It runs everything twice. It runs everything twice without consuming twice the horsepower, using this clever technique called dual execution. It's 512 CUDA cores, which with this 20 tensor core tops, 20 teraops. We have the ability to encode video for every single camera, 6 plus 2 plus inside the cabin, for every single camera in high dynamic range if something were to happen. Okay, so basically your black box. Let me show you what the computer looks like. 24 teraops. At the time that we delivered this to our developers, this was the fastest thing you could put in a form factor like this. This is 30 tops. This thing versus this thing. 300 watts, 30 watts. Would you like to see this running? Yeah. That right there is the DriveXavier, the world's first autonomous machine processor running the entire software stack. NVIDIA DriveXavier, and we will be sampling it in Q1, and we should be in production before the end of the year. One of our engineers got into the car and drove 8 miles without touching the steering wheel. Look at this, no helmet. We're announcing today that Baidu and ZF has selected the NVIDIA DriveXavier for their AV computing platform development in China. For the level 5 market, and all of our level 5 robot taxi partners is the Pegasus, the NVIDIA Drive Pegasus. It is powered by these 2 Xaviers that I've already mentioned, just 400 watts. And with 2, either 1 or 2, you should be able to power a robot taxi, a level 5 driverless car. It replaced an entire supercomputer in just 1 motherboard. I'm also delighted to announce that Uber, the company that put mobility as a service on the map, has chosen NVIDIA technology, and we're partnering together to create future autonomous self-driving Ubers. Ultimately, the most important feature of a self-driving car is not that it drives by itself. The most important feature is actually safety. Our goal is to achieve ISO level 26262 ASIL D capability, basically the highest level functionality of functional safety. TT Tech and QNX, the 2 of them has worked with us to integrate their software on top of ours and with ours to achieve auto SAR. It is simply impossible to experience and put your car on the road to be able to test every single condition necessary. We developed one of the most complex simulation environments we've ever done and run it inside a virtual reality simulator. We call it AutoSim. Curtis is basically driving the car in the simulator, and Drive is responding to it. Today we're announcing a brand new platform called the NVIDIA Drive A R. It's a software stack that runs on exactly the same computer. It almost looks like the computer graphics is right there in the environment. We're going to show you something that's really cool.
Creating concepts for user experience in automotive is really difficult. And so we created this virtual lab.
It's also going to be able to augment on top of it points of interest. And so you could say very naturally, where's the local McDonald's? And it will literally navigate your way there. I'd like to welcome Dr. Herbert Diess to stage, the CEO of Hood Wagon. Great to see you. Great to see you.
If you drive in a Volkswagen, it's fun to drive, mostly. So it's an exciting work, but it has negatives.
Right?
Yeah?
It's far from
many people also think that it will be a lot of shared mobility. No, we all will drive in boxes around, which go autonomous taxis. I'm not so sure about this because a car is much more than transportation.
We have the Buzz for you in virtual reality. Oh, wow. It's exactly the same one.
It's the right one, right?
And so everything. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Happy New Year, and have a great CES.